and they call themselves Christian. However, those of us that are truly saved and serious with God know that they're not. So it's not like we are any kind of deceived when Beyonce calls herself a Christian. We just listen to her on some whatever, man. That's if we're listening to her. When Taylor Swift is like, I'm a Christian and I support LGBT, it's like, whatever. We are not going to be too critical of her because we know that she's not saved. Yeah, but I mean, it's a different thing altogether when you are a minister for the things of God and you hang out with Taylor Swift and you hang out with Beyonce. You hang out with Oprah, who also says that she's a Christian. You hang out with, you get my point. Like, it's a different ball game altogether. When you are a trusted content creator for the work of the cross by those who follow you. They follow you precisely because they think you are a Christian content creator. They actively avoid listening to Beyonce music. They actively avoid watching Netflix. They actively avoid. So they are trying to be serious with God. And when then they have you on their subscriber list, not subscriber list, sorry, but yeah, I guess a list of subscriptions, like people that to whom they subscribe, it's only because they have gone out of their way to subscribe to people that they think are also children of God. But you're not going to find them subscribed on the Vivo music channel of Beyonce because they're actively trying to avoid. They're gouging out their eye and cutting off their hands. You understand? They are exercising self-control, is what I'm getting at. And when then you refer to such people as these that watch your ministry as fans, honey, you are showing where you're always hanging out. The Bible says that from the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. Your heart is abundant with celebrityhood. Nicki Minaj, when she was called Turning Point USA, that roadshow where Erica, Kirk, and whatnot invited her, irresponsibly so, because Nicki Minaj, while she indeed stood for the persecuted church in Nigeria, has not come out with a declaration of faith, profession of faith, and also evidence to us with her lifestyle that she's actually turned over to the cross. So she is in no position to give Christians advice. We can only ever influence her, but she can never be used as an influence on us. Though if she wants to advocate for the cause of Christianity, we can interview her from a vantage point of being grateful that she's a sponsor of Christianity, but we can't call her a Christian ourselves. And that was an error on the part of Erica Kirk. Nicki Minaj has not displayed that she's one of us truly, though I'm rooting for her. We are rooting for her in the body of Christ, right? I've told you guys that I've had dreams before of Nicki Minaj doing a 180 and giving her life to God completely, but she's yet to arrive there now. She's on a journey, but she's not yet there, and so therefore she's in no position to influence any one of us. Nonetheless, Nicki Minaj, when she was at that show, being interviewed by Erica, called all the people that were watching, all, as in the people, the students at that, was it a university or what? Whatever it was full of young people, and also, of course, anyone that could be watching from online, like Garabo or whatnot. She called all of us her barbs. She called all of us her barbs, right? Nicki Minaj called all of us her barbs. Now, Nicki Minaj, her stage pseudo acting thing is to be a Barbie doll, and everyone that loves her, that is a fan of hers, she calls them barbs. When she posts a post on Twitter, on X, she refers to the people that she's talking to as, hey, my barbs. Her fan base, just like Beyonce's fan base are called the Bayhive, Nicki Minaj's fan base are called barbs, B-A-R-B-Z, right? But Nicki Minaj was out to calling all of us barbs when I am not a barb, but I'm grateful that she stood with the Nigerian church. Still to this day, I'm crying, I'm mourning, I'm reeling of what's going on in Nigeria. They're still out there massacring them. Okay, I am not a barb, though I'm grateful for Nicki Minaj's assistance of our cause, but I'm not a barb. And neither, I would imagine, was anyone in that audience really truly a barb, because the audience of Turning Point USA tends to be Christian, and Christians have no business being Nicki Minaj's barbs, because we know what it entails to be a barb of Nicki Minaj. Unless Nicki Minaj changes over and becomes a real hard knock, black born again daughter of the living God, and still loves Barbie. She had like, listen, you can be a Christian and still love Barbie, right? And so therefore give herself a nickname, like I call myself Cranberry Cake because I love the fruit cranberry, and I call my cat Cran Cat. So it's okay for me to then say to all of the followers of Cran K, in other words, to all of the followers of Paul, all of the followers of Peter, all of the followers of Amos, all of the followers of Jesus, all of the followers of Tom Hughes, or whoever is a Christian that you can find. They are followers of you insofar as you're following Jesus Christ. And if you decide to give yourself a pseudo name like Barb, fine. If Nicki Minaj maintains her Barb's thing, she has to requalify what it stands for. I am now the refined Barbie, the modest Barbie. I now put clothes on my body. I don't show my cleavage. I still like copper hair, and I still like a Barbie face beat, but within modesty. I still like these things. There are things that you can still like that were part of your old life, but now that you're in your new life, they have to be refined. The skirts have to go below your knees, and they can't be body hugging anymore, etc., etc., right? So insofar as Nicki Minaj requalifies what makes for a barb, now that she is a born-again barb, she has no business, or we as the body of Christ, when the world misrepresents us in their eyes, it is our prerogative to correct them. So we were supposed to essentially correct Nicki Minaj and say that we're not your barbs because what your barb represents is not with God at present. But if she requalifies what a barb now is, a born-again barb, fine, then I can say that I'm a follower of Barb, of Nicki Minaj. So you can then call us on that day to all of the followers of the righteousness that is fashioned against Christ of Barb, the Nicki Minaj refined version. This is what I gotta say, ABC, and then we listen to her speak. You see, Nicki Minaj spoke as a celebrity because that is her ecosystem, that's her niche, that's where she's used to being. That's what she has been all this time. It's what she has acclimated herself to. That is the communication that has always just come out of her mouth when she's talking about to her fans and about her fans. She calls them barbs and they are her fans. So if at all a Christian has a bayhive, or if at all a Christian calls her viewers barbs, you are a celebrity. You immerse yourself amidst so many celebrities. You fallen randos that are not of God. You hang out with so many celebs. You hang out with so many worldly musicians. Look at Tasha Cobbs. Look at Lecrae. You hang out with so many worldly musicians. Look even at all my night in life you've been faithful. How she was how she did a song with Whitney Houston. I don't want to forget her name, but I forgot it. Nonetheless, count on me through thick and thin. A friend, CeCe Winans. All throughout her career, she's just been busy with worldly artists. We understand they got pipes, and if they were to be God's servants, yeah, man, they sing really well. But while Toni Braxton has a beautiful voice, and I can't even begin to imagine what her voice would do with gospel music, she's not recovered to God. She fell apart and never recouped her Baptist roots. So seeing as she is, I don't think she's a prodigal, I don't think she was ever saved. She and all of her siblings. Until such time that they finally make a decision to be serious with God, their pipes are irrelevant. Their really gifted singing is irrelevant to us. And so just because you want to be able to fathom how Toni Braxton was sound on a track, or Ed Sheeran, it would be great if they turned to God and started singing for the Lord. It would be great if they turned to God and started singing for the Lord, but you can't then now that a celebrity wants her bread buttered on both sides, or his bread buttered on both sides, and wants to have his cake and eat it too, and so call themselves Christian like Taylor Swift. If at all, this here's the celebrity that wants to enter heaven, but without going into the narrow gate, then has a conceding full minister of the cross, be it in music or just like a YouTube channel or whatever. If that particular person concedes to ally and so therefore collaborate with a worldly musician that however has a profession of faith on their tongue and wants their bread buttered on both sides, you have maintained the stumbled disposition of Nicki Minaj. You have maintained I believe it was Nicki Minaj that was out there hanging out with Tasha Cobbs. You have maintained like what CeCe Winans did in so collaborating with Whitney Houston was essentially maintain the apostate condition of Whitney. Because why are you hanging with Whitney in music, collaborating with her, when you are a gospel musician and she started out loving gospel music, and in her albums every so often she does a gospel song. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. Yes, Jesus loves me. The Bible tells me so. But I mean, there's also saving all my love for you. Like it's a matter of godly principle for you to avoid these artists or these people with whom you can collaborate for the sake of the proliferation of your career. So I just look at them and listen, I don't know if CeCe Winans has ever since then repented, because it was a long time when she did Count on Me with Whitney Houston. I don't know, maybe she has, and now she's like full on serious. But you see, people that allow themselves to hang with celebrities like all the time, these worldlings that absolutely adore and are hugging it like it's their baby or their teddy bear at night that they sleep with, absent of which they might get nightmares with celebrities. All of these Christians that hang with celebrities, they come out so falling short later on. Look at Stomp. Oh, my people say Stomp. Jesus' love is so amazing. What's his name? Kirk Franklin. They just go awry. Heavy. What fellowship does light have with darkness? So all of these content creators that attend meetings and meet and greets and road shows and whatevers for the interest of proliferating or maintaining the girth and the strength of your YouTube channel. You who have signed with these organizations, you are Kirk Franklin. Maybe in the 90s, before you went too terribly awry. But you're on your way to being terribly awry. You're on your way to saying on stage the lion and the lamb will bow down to the goat. And then try to justify it by saying that goat stands for the greatest of all time. You are 5 seconds away from being Kirk Franklin. The devil is stealthy, is pernicious, he takes a minute. He's like Pink Panther. And it takes years for him to callous you. You can't hang out with worldly people and not feel the need to water yourself down and not feel the need to, what do you call this? To not bother them with your heavy Christianity. Talk on your tongue. May the Lord bless you, what's going on with your life, and you being grieved by certain lifestyle choices or certain language. When you just allow yourself to ignore that you are grieved by certain language. When you allow yourself to ignore that you are grieved by certain lifestyle choices, certain things that they talk about, that even though they're not swearing, because they understand you're a minister of God, nonetheless, what they're talking about is just a wholesomely ungodly behavior activity. It's a lifestyle choice that don't make no kind of sense. When like a worldly chick is out here talking about how it is that she and her boyfriend went on holiday to the Bahamas, what are the odds that she's not fornicating with him? Are you gonna ask her, do you guys have separate rooms? Seeing as you decided to travel together as an unmarried couple, did you have a chaperone? You can't ask that to a celebrity. But if a Christian were to out to tell you that she went on holiday with her boyfriend to the Bahamas, you'd be like, At church, did you have a chaperone? Did your parents go with? Did you have separate hotel rooms? Did you? Yeah. You would have all the right under heaven to ask that. But as a worldling, you have to hold back. When you're talking with a worldling, you have to hold back. Your convictions, you have to allow yourself to just get grieved. And you can't correct them. On that day, you know that you are not so much, albeit in the world and not of it. You are now not only in the world, but you are now also of it. You are of it because you're hanging out with the world. You're having all the entire thriving conversations that are lingering hours on end at some kind of an event with people that are talking about having gone on holiday with their boyfriends to the Bahamas. However, in so speaking, about something else that they noticed at the Bahamas, but what's still lodging on your mind is the fact that she went on holiday with her boyfriend. And not so much that you were talking about the weather of the Bahamas. You were talking about the weather of the Bahamas. But I mean, she then went and remembered the one time when she went there with her boyfriend, and it was just like 3 weeks ago. If those are people that you're always immersing yourself amidst the company of, honey, listen, I'm sorry. It's only a matter of time before you make like Kirk Franklin and out your rock leather on stage and pulsating six-packs and everything for the ladies to gawk at as like you are Matthew McConaughey in... what's that movie, that was licentious, in Magic Mike. If at all you be out looking at a Christian content creator, a Christian artist on stage like he is Matthew McConaughey or Channing Tatum in Magic Mike, but not a Christian gospel artist. You're Kirk Franklin. That's all you are. You're Kirk. Do you understand? And that's where all of these content creators are headed for. They're headed for the status of Channing Tatum and Magic Mike. Hot Boys. The same content creator that was a time some years ago, maybe a year or two ago, where he was showing people fitness, how it is that the Lord has helped his fitness journey along, and he literally in his thumbnail allowed himself to post how ripped he now is without wearing clothes. You can show people that you're ripped by wearing a t-shirt. They can see with your arms that they see either from your sleeveless shirt or your sleeved shirt to the point of there that you've got bulk, right? Ripped men don't need to show us they're ripped by showing us their clean skin, like on my face, their six packs, their biceps and their triceps. No, you can show people that you're doing well in your fitness journey. God helped you along by simply wearing a regular shirt. People would know that, whoa, God really helped you on your fitness journey. And this regular shirt, you can do it before and after, still wearing regular clothes, and people will know. Just like with Get Ready with Me's, Christians, there's a Christian woman online that showed you how to do a Get Ready with Me and still maintain your godly virtue. When she woke up, she was wearing pajamas, and then she had, and then her next outfit, the outfit that she was wearing for church, essentially she jumped into it from out of her pajamas. So you saw her wearing pajama pants and a pajama buttoned up top, and then the next video you saw was her whole full outfit. No, not a whole full outfit, sorry, but the skirt that she wore that was beneath her knees replaced the pants, and then you saw that next with her. Essentially, there was never ever a moment where you saw her in her bikini, basically in her bra and panties. But there are Christians out here doing Get Ready with Me's in their birthday suit practically, almost, and they're trying to convince all of us that they're okay. But how you even get to that point, if at all you started out nice and strong for God and modest, is if you allow yourself to immerse yourself amidst the world. So you show people that you've got a six-pack by showing people the six-pack of Matthew McConaughey and Magic Mike. The whole thing, that's your thumbnail, and you want to show people that God helped you with your fitness journey. I don't doubt that God helped you with your fitness journey, but you're not supposed to show us your whole six-pack. We can see it. We can see that you're fit with just a simple t-shirt worn. We can see it, right? And listen, I'm not speaking here from a judgmental point of view. I come from a time when I was working out to worldly music, and I was not, however, immersed amidst worldly people. All I had was the influence of that music in my ear, and I danced licentiously like I was a stripper, and I also literally stripped down in myself, and I posted that as a Christian online. I brought all the stuff down, of course. Don't nobody out here have access to my thighs anymore, or my six-pack, or my growing biceps. Nobody sees anymore what my body looks like. However, the memory is burned into people's brains. The images are burned into people's brains that did see that then, that would love to raise that as an accusation against me. but I repented. But because I realized that, okay, first and foremost, as a Christian, I shouldn't be dancing like this. And secondly, likely the reason why I'm even dancing like this is because of the music that I'm using to work out. I struggled to work out with worship music, and I didn't want to work out with worship music because I knew that with worship music I would have conviction. I would struggle to allow myself to dance the way that I was dancing to gospel music. It would just be an affront. So I flat out refused to work out with worship music playing because I knew that it would convict me. I didn't want conviction. So maybe y'all are refusing to hang out with saints, or you're refusing to confront the fact that you work for cults that have nothing to do with God. You refuse to confront it. And so you are keeping yourselves in that state, and over the months, over the weeks, over the years, you're gonna go from working out in shorts that come down to your knees to ones that literally just cup your buttock. And you're gonna think that, but I mean, I'm working out. Everybody does it. We are in the world, but we're not of it. But if you belong to a cult, you can do no other thing but end up like Kirk Franklin. Is that basic? Anyway, I spoke that because when I was busy making my new cup of coffee in the kitchen, I again got not dreams and visions, but visions, understandings of people that be out to picking a controversy with my ministry because my pizza was alwan. So I spoke about that instead of singing first, even though when I talk too much, my voice flees. But anyway, I've done all the talking that I can talk up to this point. From now, we're gonna sing until we're done because we need to sing to bring down entities. We need to sing to bring down entities, and it's just something that I incorporate into my whole schedule, so we keep it. Yeah, I don't expect that my voice is gonna be any kind of particularly good because I am insecure. I've been under a lot of attack. I come from like a horrible week. But anyway, whatever. We're gonna talk today about this here, which I already briefly highlighted. All these Christians that allow themselves to join these organizations, and why now the very same organizations are dancing around on our heads. Those of us that won't settle, it's because of you. And yes, I am repeating myself, but with a new edge, a new nuance, because my days of poverty have come to an end. My days of struggling to make money have come to an end, and we're going to talk about that. And so addressing these very issues, but we can't talk about that yet now, can we? Until we're done singing. So let us sing and then get into the discussion, but that is what you can look forward to, frankly, later on. The fact that I'm getting out of poverty, listen, it's a thing. It's a thing. Okay, here it goes. The first song that I chose is The Heart of Worship. These days when I choose music, I just go inside YouTube and listen. It's just like, and then I choose it, right? I don't really plan it because I tend to be kind of low-key depressed at the time of choosing the music because of just what I'm going through in life. So I cannot go and think very deeply. If I were to think very deeply, I'd probably have different music every week. And I'm sorry for that. I'm here. Listen, I want to be a better speaker, but like, listen, it's just not giving. I have a notepad over there and some pens everywhere. I want to get a pen and a notepad pretty much all week that is just sitting next to me in bed, so that because I listen to worship music throughout the week as I'm doing whatever, as I'm washing dishes, whatnot. And especially when I'm doing my post, like when I'm posting on this Sunday, my content for the week, the one that I publish, I am presently uploading it. When I publish, it takes me a cool 3 hours to publish all my content because I've got hundreds of shorts and of course multiple parts of long form content, and I have to put on a thumbnail and across 4 channels. So it literally takes me a good 3.5 to 4 hours to publish. I know, it's like ridiculous. My content is already online and it takes me a good 3.5 to 4 hours to publish every last video because of the many channels that I have. That's how much work I do. It's a job on its own just to publish. What y'all have done to me, like, we don't know. Like, listen, you're not gonna make it. Anyway, whatever. So during the time when I'm publishing, because it's such a boring, onerous task of putting in the thumbnail, it uploading, and then putting the end screen in order for you to be able to move to the next part without having to go back into my channel again. Not that anybody's watching me. I work very hard in my ministry, y'all can tell, I make sure that my content is not only good, but that also, seeing as it's like a novel, a book that I'm writing, you are able to page next by simply clicking on an end screen, as opposed to having to go back to my page, like I said. All that, and also to make sure that my title is the same across all my shorts, one of this many. And then as I move to 2, 3, 4, 5, I have to like copy and paste the title and then change the number to 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever. And this whole thing that albeit moving relatively fast per individual video, it nonetheless, because of the copious volumes of content, it takes me 3.5 to 4 hours. So during that time, I must of course have something in my ear going, otherwise I would just hate that whole process. I would despise it. So I listen to worship music in that time. And when I'm listening to worship music in my ear as I'm doing my publishings, I'm like, oh, I haven't heard that song in so long. And sometimes I just want to write it down so that I can sing it next time I come here, so that I can bring a brand spanking new song this time. But I just don't have my pen here and I don't have my pad here, even though there is a pad over there and pens everywhere. So now that I've said this, I'm gonna make it a determination to chill here with a pen and a pad, so that if there is a song that comes into my ear any time in the week, I'm like, I want to sing that because I haven't sung it before, I'm gonna jot it down so I can bring you fresh stuff next time. But like, listen, it doesn't even matter, because Who's listening to me that is careful for fresh stuff? People are blocking me from making money from my singing talent. People are blocking me from making money from my editing talent. Anything that I want to do. And I'm going to talk about that today, about how scared I have been to go everywhere and just try to monetize any of my gifts, even if it's not in ministry. But some other kind of not 9 to 5, but a 9 to 5 kind of speaks of a corporate almost. But like just anything that can make me money from all of my other skills. But the way that I am so banned everywhere, I've been trepidatious, and that trepidation is based on me not wanting to get hurt as a result of trying really hard on something and it failing again. Because I work really hard. I produce volumes of content, and I have focused my energies here on YouTube only because it's only one place where I'm being abused. I don't want to have to repeat this work everywhere else where I'm still being abused. I don't want to have to deal with more bannings, more whatnottings, more deletions of my account, more suspensions, more bring downs of my whole entire account. I don't want to have to deal with any of that because of how intricately woven your little cult is. And how you are working across all social media platforms. You all need to be arrested because you're going against you need to be dragged out in handcuffs. You need to be arrested like as a concert because you're breaking laws. You're breaking laws. I've come to learn that largely it's not these platforms that have done this to me. It is minions that are working for syndicates. Though with X, I'm pretty aware it's Elon Musk. It's not some ugly minions. I would have not raised him as a name of concern if I did not get a dream about him. So with YouTube, however, it's not YouTube that's all up in my grill like white on rice, just as a whole entire American company. It's the little minions, and it's you little minions that need to get arrested. You need to get arrested because you're breaking laws and you are just doing what you want. You're rogue on platforms of your country. Some of them are American, and also others are not from America. They're from South Africa or wherever else, on the platforms of an international company that frankly would pick a bone with what you're doing on their platforms. Right now, I found out that in Germany, they have harassed these two preacher guys whose YouTube channel follows them around on the street talking to people about Jesus, and they lamented against anti-Semitism in their Germany. Germany, of which is that country with the Holocaust, you will remember, right? And they have been, arrested in Germany for what they posted on YouTube. But the videos have stayed on YouTube because the German government does not have power to remove their videos. They cannot make sure that their videos don't linger online. They can't pressurize America to persecute these German men. CBN News interviewed them. So what Germany's doing is just harassing them in their own capacity. They've just arrested them, but their videos are still online. That's what's going. That's why South Africa, what you're doing to me, you shouldn't be able to do it. In Europe, I spoke about how it is that people are to be getting arrested for posting stuff on Facebook. The post is still on Facebook, but the people are getting arrested, evidencing that the nation is persecuting their people for what they post online, but the American platform that is Facebook is not. It doesn't care to censor speech. They've been getting pressurized by the Online Security Act or whatever of Europe, the Americans that is, to ban people, and they were like, no. So the content stays online, but the content creator gets harassed by their government. So Mina, essentially South Africa is a coward. Y'all should be coming here to arrest me for what I'm posting on the internet, but you're not, are you? What you're doing is just flat out going against the rules of a company that would under normal circumstances not ban me. They would leave my stuff on and they would let me thrive. You, however, must had to take me out in handcuffs. What did you post? And then maybe my story would get taken up by CBN News, but you're too cowardly. You're not only cowardly, but you're also full of lies and you're full of actual criminality. What you're doing is criminal. That's why content creators' content does not get brought down. Only their governments abuse them, using the fact that they're chilling in their borders. America has no jurisdiction in Germany. It has no jurisdiction in Switzerland. It has no, you get my point. So the Swiss that out here post things like, you know, that Swiss minister who like got guilty. The verdict came back guilty for her standing on her freedoms of religion and so speaking against the LGBTQIA community. And all that which she did was covered by CBN News. And where she was posting many of these things was Twitter. X refused to bring down her stuff because it's Elon Musk, who, however, is duplicitous, evidently. And X would not bring it down, but the woman got arrested. She lost her job in the government and everything for standing against LGBTQIA stuff. I forgot what her name is, but I was very disappointed by the verdict. I don't know whether or not like Julius Malema is going to go to jail for 5 years or what. I'm not sure. But in this country, they don't even want to show people that they are thwarting religious freedoms of people by breaking down our doors and arresting us or sending us fines or whatever. They're just breaking laws of international companies. They're just breaking international laws. They're just harassing people on platforms that belong to other countries. That's why you're losing YouTube from South Africa. You're losing it because you don't even have the respect of the German government to leave what's going on social media. You can't touch it because that media platform belongs to America. But you can deal with people. You can go and arrest Germans, and then of course the Americans will then take up the cause and say, why are you arresting people for speaking out against anti-Semitism? What's wrong with you? Did you not learn the lesson that the Holocaust taught the world? Essentially what I'm getting at is that South Africa, you're in yourselves and therefore just these most beastly, gnarly criminals. You're just You have taken it far, and you know that in this country that is South Africa, that has got all of these all of these freedoms in the Constitution, you would not be able to stand even on your 2 legs and your palms, like Mamela, as in on all fours. You would not be able to stand for arresting Christians for speaking their minds on the internet. In the country, you would have riots that would out here burn the union buildings in a day. So you're not prepared to go and rile out that level of riotous heat on the part of the countrymen. So what you're doing is breaking laws and abusing South African content creators on platforms where that is not allowed for you to do. No one else is doing it, but you're doing it. Yeah, no one else is doing it, but you're doing it. No one else is brave enough to run a syndicate on social media platforms that belong to America, but you're doing it. So, I mean, you're on your way out. You're on your way out. You don't even have a strong enough military. And you're just standing against a country that fetched 1 man from a hostile zone with like quite the miraculous search and rescue operation because they leave no men behind. A nation that's got that kind of military. You're busy dumping stools on its platforms. All the best. You don't even have enough fleet. You don't have enough helicopters. You don't have enough jets in your army. You don't have enough ships in your navy, and yet you are coming up against a country whose military put the whole entire navy of Iran in the ocean. Whatever. Do you, South Africa? Let's sing. So like I said, the songs that I chose, I'm sorry that I spoke so much. I'm gonna try and just really go through these songs quickly, because I would love to just get into my message. The first one is Heart of Worship. If my voice is not that great, listen, it's to be expected because I spoke too much. I yelled. Therefore, my voice is gonna suck, but it's not about how sucky dupe my voice is. It is only about the power of sending praises to the Lord, and He then ought to be inhabiting them all the day and all the night long. And so, boom, therein lies the bombing of your small little navy ships at sea. And now they're at the bottom of the Indian Ocean. Look at that go. Look at that go. Okay. Alrighty, cool. The Heart of Worship is the first jam that we out here hanging out with like we're a homie or whatever. And it goes a little something like this. I'm letting down and build body. I'm insecure, so have mercy on me. I'm pretty sure not every content creator has to sign with your organization because there's too many of them, right? To sign with your organization. Then you would like pretty much have the whole entire world in the books of your cults, and your cults, by mere virtue of being cults, can't be too big, right? You're like a small 5% of the Earth's population that is ruining everybody's life nonetheless, despite being so small in number. So I'm pretty sure not every content creator on the internet has to be a member of a cult. Otherwise, nobody would breathe. And again, people are just these canaries that just keep singing, so you'd get exposed. So you need to only bring in people that are like super clandestine and willing to keep your secret all the way to the grave. So amidst those that you do recruit and call in are likely those that do get like ravenously big on the social media platforms, right? So the regular baker, the regular mukbang doer, the regular travel content creator tends to sort of kind of get away scot-free, just producing content online without having to mess up with their spiritual convictions or what they feel is right or what is wrong. They feel like they live in a world that is free and fair and open like the elections, right? Until one day they get like a nasty knock on the door and now they're like persecuted because they got like big or whatever. Or you figured that you could get to them because they're like super smart or whatever, or they will get where you're coming. I don't know what it is that is your choosing criteria for why you're going to bring people into cults, right? But nonetheless, if it's not everybody that belongs to your cults that is on social media allowed to thrive, it must necessarily be true then that in particular, the ones that you try to coop in are the Christians, because we are the only people that are any kind of true resisting meaty force against you. So while most travel content creators likely don't belong to a cult, while most bakers, foodies likely don't belong to a cult, while most people that out here do comedy online don't belong to a cult, I have a strong feeling that the percentage of Christians that you call to belong to your cults is bigger, perhaps going in the double digits, like 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 30% of them are forced into a cult, while everybody else is left alone because you're not scared of everybody else. You're not scared of a big content creator that does travel, or a person that just eats way too much food in mukbangs out here amassing for themselves millions of subscribers. You're not scared of them. You're not scared of the person doing gossip. You're not scared of the person planting chrysanthemums, a person that has got a end of the world channel. So listen, let's pick up as many coup beans as we possibly can. You're not scared of doomsday's prepper channels. You're not scared of them the way that you are scared of Christians, because we have evidence, seeing as you belong to cults, that we got power. against you. I therefore would not be surprised if in your little Illuminati books, listen, I say Illuminati because it's just the one secret society that everybody knows about. In your little Freemason Illuminati books, I wouldn't be surprised if the biggest quota of recruits are within the Christian community. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's bizarre. There ought not be any Christians amidst you at all. And everybody that is a Christian that has joined you is either not saved at all, or they are heavily in the season of their prodigality and need to get out of there, confess, and come back home. But I wouldn't be surprised if the majority of your recruits are in Christ. Listen, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if there is like an entertainer out there that does music, that does covers, that is A-list material, that is left alone to thrive and become big on YouTube, and so therefore give even like, here therein lies using Beyonce again, Beyonce a run for her money. I wouldn't be surprised if that person is left alone, and so therefore would cause a person like Beyonce to be like, but why did I have to join this thing and they didn't have to? Why did I have to go in? Why did I have to become so nefarious? Why did I in every video have to go and cover my one eye? Why did I have to do rituals on stage when this person is pretty much in the beginning of their career also making as much money and doing as well and basically being authentic without having to like, listen, Alicia, Satan, why did you make me a devil worshipper? Beyonce is obviously a devil worshipper. Listen, it's clear. I wouldn't be surprised if not even all the really gifted musicians online that do covers with their little guitars, with their millions of subscribers, if they're left alone and you only get like 1 or 2 or 10 to join your cult and so therefore do all the symbolism and attend your ugly meetings and drink blood, I wouldn't be surprised if you leave the grand majority of content creators on the internet to do whatever they want to do, because you can't have them all. You can't pick them all like it's Pokemon. You can't. Insofar as they are relatively innocuous, like showing people Japan or whatever in a travel channel. But I mean, there is no innocuity to a cult in a Christian now, is there? So All Saints, most of us, though of course it can't be all, otherwise God would come down like the fire and the brimstone over Sodom and Gomorrah on the world. It can't be all of us that are doing content online that you have come for, but it's a handsome enough number. It's a big enough number, and I would imagine that it's likely the biggest on your sheets, on your books, in terms of a quota ratio in comparison to all other genres, all other niches. How many Christians have we locked in chains to basically proliferate our agenda? I would imagine that while travel content creators out of your 100% niche make up like 1%. Mukbangers, 1%. Everybody's like 1 little percent. I wouldn't be surprised if Christians make up a cool 12% of your cult. I wouldn't be surprised if the grandest number of recruits are not in Christianity. I wouldn't be surprised, because if you can get enough Christians in your cult, you can successfully thwart everyone else of us online. If you can get enough compromising Christians belonging to your cult, you can silence the rest of us. You can silence the rest of us. You can refuse the rest of us to grow and still look like you have allowed a Christian presence online. But then that Christian presence, as the years progress, because you know you've got like long-term roadmaps out here going into 20 years into the future, such that in the future a cool 50% of Christians on the internet belong to a cult while the other 50 don't, and then 25 years down the line 75% belong to a cult, 25% don't. And when then you're at 75-25 ratio, you can just get rid of the other 25% with little resistance. And everybody else, the remaining 75%, there's just so many of them. There's so many of them that it looks like you have allowed for religious freedoms on the internet. It looks like Christians can thrive. It looks like churches are allowed to upload their sermons. It looks like Christians can give their opinion. Christians can share their dreams, their visions. Christians can come here and speak about their life experiences, what God has done for me. It just looks like Christianity is being allowed. And if at all 75% of these people that then are the only ones that are going online are the only ones doing a thing, that then becomes the opportune time, the opportune moment, the opportune season then, is it not? 10 years from today, 12 years from today, 25 years from today, it then becomes an opportune time to then be like, listen, I feel like you should not discuss this matter. I feel like change your doctrine. It is only when you have gotten a cool 75% of all Christians online belonging to a cult that then you can force them to change their doctrine. Essentially, it's like communist Romania or whatever, the one that Arjun nearly killed Richard Wurmbrand. It's communist China. It's Soviet Union, not China. Communist China too, but it's like Soviet Union Russia, out here arresting pastors and whatever, forcing people to go underground and have a meeting or whatever. That's what it's giving. Everyone that's a real saint will be driven underground, and everybody else that is on the internet able to thrive will be comprehended by the underground church across the world that, listen, they're all fake, like them eyelashes. If you're Christian and you start a YouTube channel, within 5 months you will be completely censored, so don't even bother. We're gonna end up just relying on basically hanging with each other in our countries where we're at, because we no longer have social media. Will we not then on that day maybe even try to start our own social media platforms? We can, but I mean, we all know what happens when people go independent and try to disregard censorship laws across the world. When people try to defy censorship laws across the world and do their own thing and be independent, they get shoved into a corner and struggle to grow. The market competition laws essentially are eviscerated globally, and the market is made inaccessible by them. Look at platforms like BitChute, look at platforms like Gab. I only know about them because of people that have spoken about them before, but I never would have just happened upon a BitChute video by simply Googling something on the search engine, be it Google or any other search engine. I would never have found it by happenstance. It had to be recommended by some other content creator. Look at how there is so much hard knock effort invested in ascertaining that these here platforms never become a real competitive threat to YouTube. The other day they brought down lives, like they completely severed lives to Goldie Gamari. They said you can't do lives anymore. She did a video where she lamented about it, and in the comment section as I was reading, she finally got it back, thank God. In the comment section when I was reading, people were like, YouTube needs a real competitor. YouTube needs competition that's gonna essentially throw it out the water, because right now the monopoly it holds has made it lose its mind. It later was brought to the surface. Indeed, like I've been saying all this time, people are breaking laws. They're operating against the executive orders of their own president. They are disregarding their own country's laws. They are functioning in a rogue capacity. It was later learned that it was some rogue freaking megalomaniacal creep fest of a creep show moderator at YouTube that decided that Goldie Gamari is no longer going to be able to do lives. Goldie Gamari, of which the way they're so bold-faced, so I was like, then who am I? They're so Goldie Gamari, of which is essentially like a celebrity spokesperson for her country. She out to be getting interviewed by news networks across the world. Sky News, WeOn, Fox. That's how big Goldie is. You don't just come into the nostrils of a person like that as some little measly, megalomaniacal, nefarious moderator at YouTube and get away with it. Within a day, within mere hours, her lives were restored because somebody decided that they're going to end their little mental illness, decide to, Mamela, bring down the lives of Goldie Gamari. Goldie, of which has been covering the Iranian Revolution ever since December. So she's now on at that date, she was on day 106. And in the middle of her life, it got brought down and she was interrupted and cut. And she fought, and yes, indeed, they said that because of gun policy, they always come up with stories. Some chick at YouTube algebra like deleted 4 out of 5 of my YouTube channels, the reason of which was a spam policy. They always find something to bring you down over. Goldie Gamari went on to go and find in the timestamp the part where it is that there was a gun that she was just flailing. Of course, there was no gun. And yet, despite her dispute, and I remember when I listened to her, I literally cried because I was like, they did it to me too, right? There was no gun. And when she appealed, within 4 minutes, a mere 4 minutes, they came back and said, sorry, I know that it sucks, but like, we can't do anything for you. And I was like, yeah, I also appealed at YouTube multiple times. And also, without even going through the video, to hearken to my appeal where I wrote a whole essay as to why I should not have my video brought down. The one time I got a strike and my video was brought down, their response was, well, listen, I didn't even take 4 minutes. With me, it was like immediate. Like I got as soon as I sent out the appeal, within, like it was almost like, have you ever gotten an out of office reply from someone? An out of office reply when you send an email, like it comes like immediately. Yeah. No, I got a response that was pretty much like, it came back to me at the speed of an out of office reply when you send an email to someone that's out of office. And these people, like, it was like they're gonna bring down my video and that's it. And when it comes to the appeal for, which was big this time around, of the deletion of my whole entire channels, like Mamela, they deleted my channels, all of it, without a first strike, second strike, third strike, you're out. No, without any such prior warning. 4 out of 5 of my YouTube channels were deleted based on spam policy or whatever. I appealed all 4, of course. They recovered 2, and the other 2, like an out of office reply. Immediately they said, no, sorry, it's gonna stay gone. So still to this day, I only have 3 in my old ministry YouTube channels out of 5, and the other 2 are permanently gone. These are people that are rogue. Their managers or whatever, or the people with whom they work, are in cahoots with them. They are rogue. They're ignoring the country's laws. They're ignoring company policy. They're functioning like, listen, it's like going to work and having a political ideology. It's like working, like, listen, the last job I had was at MTN, so let's just be in keeping with MTN. It's like working for MTN and you've got a political ideology that you stand with. You're like an EFF boss lady. And then like however you work at like the call center, go MTN, and some client calls in complaining about her prepaid package, how it is that she's being billed too much. And then you decide to essentially go inside, you decide to research this client further that is lamenting, throwing her toys out the cart. Why are you billing me so much? This person that's out here cussing you out on the phone, you then decide to just Google them and then you find their whole Facebook profile. And in their Facebook profile, they've got like stamps and pictures of, let's say, was standing with the DA, the Democratic Alliance. She's like a DA fan, and she can't stand communism. Julius Malema. She thinks that he is a racist twerp. This is this woman's politics in her own private life. And you are a call center agent at MTN. And she cusses you out because why are you billing me so much? So it's completely divorced from, it is comprehensively divorced from her own life, what she believes in. And based on the fact that you know that she absolutely hates Julius Malema and this is her political affiliation, you then decide to not only ignore her for the whole duration of time that she is crying, but you let the debit order continue to go off that is too much billing, and over and above it you then add more itemized lines that she might be billed even more, and you tell yourself that insofar as I'm sitting in this position, this woman can scream and throw her toys at her cart at her leisure. At the end of the day, I'm Frank Sinatra and I do it my way. I'm gonna do things my way, and being a megalomaniacal creep fest, I am going to punish at my leisure everyone that does not stand with me and my political affiliations and my EFF. I am going to punish them. I had to open for my cat. I am going to punish at my leisure anyone and everyone that does not stand with my political affiliations. And so trusting that Lomfadlona is just going to be nice and frustrated by the fact that there's nothing that she can do about the decision you've made on her account with MTN. You then carry on some sorry, there's nothing I can do, ma'am. Sorry. First you ignore her, and then after ignoring her, you're like, sorry, there's nothing we can do, ma'am. Just like what happened with Anele, Professor Anele Hemond. Sorry, ma'am. This is the contract you signed. Sorry, ma'am. This is what you did. This is what you owe us. Sorry, ma'am. There is no anomaly here. There's nothing wrong with what's going on. The woman is like, no, but this is the contract. No, this is that. And she's running around the muck like a headless chicken on some mamela. I've got a different contract all up in my possession. I've got this, I've got that. But like, there is an agent out here literally just making like a broken record and saying, sorry ma'am, sorry ma'am, sorry ma'am. I mean, all that is needed for that little douche, little minion idiot to be uprooted is for a loud enough voice, boisterous enough a voice to fluff its peacock feathers until all that's needed is for a loud enough voice to fluff its peacock feathers until the right voice that is not bribed, the right voice that's not part of the syndicate hears. The only thing that you can do is scream and cry until people that are not bribed. No, stay there. Until people that are not bribed, until people that have not been banded together in a syndicate catch wind of this. All you can do when you are dealing with a rogue employee at a company that trusts that they're going to be covered by other rogue employees, and every so often amidst the rogue employees are people in so much seniority that frankly they have a pomp in themselves, they have an arrogance. Goldie Gamari threatened and said that shame on you, YouTube, you are breaking your own country's laws, this is treason. She flat out called what was being done to her as treason. And herein lies America having gone to war with Iran, and there being a deliberate attempt to undermine the war effort by the US. And within mere hours, her video was brought back online. Not video, but her lives were brought back again. All you have to do is shout and scream loud enough for this here thing that is happening to land in the ears of people that are not part of the syndicate. And a manje, crying once, complaining once, is not going to cut it sometimes. I've been crying for 11 years going on 12. Goldie Gamari only cried for a day because she's Goldie Gamari. But I've been crying. And ultimately, in Lelang, Mama like it the right people, because it is not everyone that is bribed. And when then it is discovered that there's like a whole operating syndicate that has made people pompous in that job that they're working. Everyone is getting marched out in handcuffs. Everyone. A thorough investigation is being done. A whole of an entire department is being done. Interviews, interrogations. All that you must do as a person being evidently treated like trash for no reason by someone that has got a different ideology from you here in as an EFF member. Killing someone because of belonging to some other party and has different ideals on a platform where this person is doing something completely divorced, different from even that political thing. And because you're picking a bone with them, this chick at YouTube picked a bone with me for no other reason but the fact that she knows me from back in the day. And then of course her cult is picking up controversy with Christianity. And then there are of course men that feel entitled to me, they want to sleep with me. So now she's brought a whole bunch of other miscreants banding together with her in this mission to destroy the life of an innocent woman. And I've been screaming this whole entire time, and for years I've been doing it. People at YouTube have been all up on my neck, belonging to the syndicate since 2015. Since 2015, when I first started my YouTube channel, or was it 14 later on, I stand corrected, but either 14 or 15. Listen, over 11 years going on 12. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And the only reason why people have just continued to delete my stuff and then say whoopsie, responding to me at the speed of response of an out of office reply after deleting an entire YouTube channel, you're gay! I mean, without a first strike, a second strike, third strike, you're out. And the response for that appeal is out of office reply. That's why I didn't appeal the suspension of my Twitter account, I understood that I would also get an out-of-office reply response there too, because people made a decision that I'm not going anywhere. When you're dealing with that, you scream loud enough, but you have to choose where you scream. You have to determine where you're going to scream. You have to basically pick your battles, because screaming and jumping up and down can sometimes, just like with my case, take you 11 years going on 12. If you're Goldie Gamari, it'll take a few hours. But there are people that operate in a rogue capacity. They've got their own ideals. And herein lies an Islamist hating Goldie Gamari and deciding that she's going to stop her lives that she's covering in order to enable the cause Yako Iran. And she got her video back, not video, but her lives back within mere moments of the video that she produced, complaining against YouTube, because that was a screaming. And if at all she screams that YouTube removed her lives, while her appeals inside YouTube, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Deaf ears, blind eyes. Nonetheless, somebody could. After all, she is Goldie Gamari, isn't she? And her people forward her content. The right people that are not bribed would ask questions. Why did you bring her video down? She's right. You're rogue. So that employee, because of the video that she did complaining that YouTube brought down my lives, within mere moments, her video came back up again. Mere moments. Only because her channel is being viewed. And only because if you go public, if you go live on YouTube, anyone else could happen upon that content and be like, what? Why are you doing this to this woman's content? She's got connections. She knows people that also are on the partnership program at YouTube that can ask on her behalf. She's tied with a guy from 2C TV, Amaya 2C, etc. So a few people could basically inquire on her behalf. And Amanje, you can't syndicate, cults, nefarious organizations. You can't cover every nook and cranny. After all, you are shrouded. You are clandestine, you are secretive, you are operating like a network that is hibernating. You cannot be too ornate. And so if somebody is jumping up and down like a firecracker, if somebody o transankare di cricket, and then enough.